Welcome everyone to another OBDC, Office of Business Diversity and Compliance virtual webinar. My name is Taylor Tagg, the Senior Business Services Coordinator here at the OBDC, and we want to welcome Miranda Griffin in today, who's going to give us a little information about being healthier with our life and in our business. We want to, before we get to that, we want to ask you to visit our YouTube page, which is OBDC Memphis, and subscribe to our YouTube page. We've got over 20 different business topics available on our YouTube page. Those are replays from our virtual webinars that are there for your benefit. Please go visit them and subscribe to our YouTube page as well. Our goal at OBDC is twofold. Number one, we certify businesses as minority-owned, women-owned, and small business enterprises for free of charge. And so if you're looking to get certified with the City of Memphis to do business with the city, we can certify you in our office. We also help entrepreneurs grow their businesses in a variety of ways. And we've got the Entrepreneurs Network Center, which is located at 480 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive Avenue. So feel free to come visit us. We are open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. You can also call us, and we can set you up virtually or talk on the phone. You can also reach us at 636-9300 or 636-6210, and we'll help you out in one way or another. If we don't have the resources to help you, we can get the resources to help you through one of our other business organization partners that we do business with as well. I want you to know that the City of Memphis Small Business Stabilization Grant is still open through December 31st. For any small business that is located within the city limits, where the business owner also has a residence within the city limits, that grant program is still open. You can visit memphisbdc.org/grants to find out more about that program. And also, we ask you to kind of stay muted during the webinar here. If you have a question during this, you can feel free to put it in the chat, and we'll open this up at the end for Miranda to take questions. I want to welcome Miranda Griffin from Healthy Midsouth. She is the owner of that organization, and Healthy Midsouth is a resource for businesses to optimize employees' health and wellness. They also help businesses lower healthcare costs and also potential liabilities. And so Miranda has graciously come to OBDC today to help us with optimizing our lives through nutrition, and that is their area of expertise. And she's going to share with us some of her best practices and things that she focuses on when it comes to nutrition. So Miranda, thanks for being here with us. How are you today?
Good. Thank you so much for having me, Taylor. Really appreciate it. And thanks everyone for coming today. I'm excited. I'm excited because the ones that are here, I know that you're here because you're seriously interested in taking steps to understanding more about your mental and physical health. And that's great right now, especially because we're entering the cold and flu season. And with everything going on lately, we've heard that we need to have a healthy immune system, right? So what is that, and why is it so important? So today I want to start with our immune system. When we first have to understand the main purpose of our immune system is to protect our body from viruses and bacteria. So without it, you could constantly be getting sick. Our body is extremely complex, but in a nutshell, your immune system is supposed to recognize the difference between your body's good cells and bad cells. When it is working properly, it will kill the bad cells when they invade our bodies. But I want to talk to you a little bit about inflammation. And inflammation is stemmed from when your body is not acting right and when your body is attacking itself. And that's what happens. When it doesn't, when the immune system isn't working, your body will start attacking itself. And this is when you can easily get sick. You can get sick, get infections and diseases. It's easy to take for granted when you're healthy and your immune system is doing a great job, right? But we've all heard the quote, you don't realize what you've got until it's gone. I can definitely attest to this. I've endured major sickness, and in a nutshell, about 8 years ago, not only was I going through menopause, I had been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, Raynaud syndrome, and then I began to encounter debilitating pain. I lost most of my muscle mass and was very lethargic. It took the doctors, almost 3 years, but I was diagnosed with RA and lupus. And a lot of you may be familiar with RA, which is rheumatoid arthritis. But if you're unfamiliar with lupus, it's a systemic autoimmune disease that occurs when your body's immune system starts attacking your own tissues and organs, such as your joints, skin, kidneys, blood cells, brain, heart, and lungs. But needless to say, I was a hot mess. But this is why I do these educations today. I didn't know much when it came to choosing the right things for my body. And at that time, I knew that if I didn't do anything, I was either going to die at an early age from disease or all the medications I was on. But through my journey of being mindful from what I did to my body to where I am now, I'm excited that I can move now, from barely being able to walk in major pain, but now being off all my medications as well. But you don't know what you don't know. And I want to share a few steps that can literally change your mindset as well. And if you choose to implement some of these choices, it can literally change your life. My goal today is to get you to see the different perspective from being a business owner, so that you can do more and not just make ends meet, let's say. Knowing how you can take care of yourself determines the outcome of your health and how it affects the life around you and your business. You're not going to enjoy the fruit of your labor if you're not healthy. And understanding that investing in you is preventative care. Not to mention, you're worth it. I mean, think about that. I mean, you're all you've got. You can't trade yourself in for a new one. Building a healthy immune system starts with investing in small, healthy steps every day. You've got to be consistent. It's like residual interest in your life. Meaning, again, this is preventative care. So think about these words. Every choice you make is an investment in you. And like I said a while ago, you cannot trade yourself in for a new one. You will not be your best if you're not healthy. If you want optimal performance for not just for yourself, but for your family, friends, colleagues, and as a business owner, then you must make choices that will benefit you now and in the future. So when you understand what you do now makes a difference later, then you're on the road to longevity and prosperity. So let's look at our immune system. When we understand how to keep it healthy, then it makes it easier to choose the steps to take action for prevention and improvement. Here are some simple ways to implement into your life every day the lifestyle to give it what it needs to function at its best. So let's look at stress. Whether it comes on quick or builds over time, it's important to understand how stress affects your health. Now, how many of you have endured stress? A little stress or a lot of stress? Driving down the road is stressful. Colleagues working with people can be stressful. But including the impact it has on, when you think about it, you got to include the impact that it has on your immune system. During a period of stress, particularly chronic stress that's frequent and long lasting, your body responds by initiating a stress response. The stress response in turn suppresses your immune system, increasing your chance of infection or illness. So let's think about the dangers of chronic stress. In an article titled The Dark Side of Entrepreneurship, temporary stress is normal but can be healthy. But as the saying goes, everything in moderation, right? But chronic stress, on the other hand, is where the psychological effects become more dangerous. Headaches, heart problems, high blood pressure, suppressed immune response, and more. It goes on to say prolonged exposure to chronic stress can lead to memory loss, anxiety, irritability, depression, substance abuse, social withdrawal, weight gain, insomnia, as well as more serious results. Not to mention the devastating toll it takes on relationships with your spouse and your family, your kids, and colleagues. How many of you know business owners that have gone through these issues? I know I have. So what's really going on inside the body? Beneath chronic stress, your endocrine system, which is responsible for regulating your fight or flight response. It isn't returning to a healthy state. Instead, it overrides everything the brain thinks non-critical, like your sleep, your digestion, the reproductive system, and our musculoskeletal functions, as well as the cardiovascular systems. So what are the consequences of too much stress? In the research study released a few years ago, it says burnout is a syndrome that results from chronic stress at work with several consequences to workers. It's not only just to their mindset, but it's their well-being and health, overall health. Now listen to this. Burnout was a significant predictor of the following physical consequences: high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, coronary heart disease, hospitalization due to cardiovascular disorders, musculoskeletal pain, prolonged fatigue, headaches, GI tract, respiratory problems, severe injuries, as well as mortality below the age of 45. That's huge, and it's very scary to think about. I mean, 45 years and younger, to me, that's crazy. The psychological effects were insomnia, depression, use of antidepressant medications, hospitalization of mental disorders, and other health symptoms. I don't know about you, but this is unacceptable. But the bottom line, constant stress tears down our body, and then it attacks our immune system. And when this happens, our body starts fighting itself, and the health issues begin to occur, and some literally leading to death. But stress is different for everyone, and how we relieve it is as well. Given the effect it can have on your health, it's important to know how to identify stress and when it can be preventive. But it's also understanding that it can be relieved. So where do we start? So I want to mention having those moments to where you can just deep breathe, have a moment of meditation or prayer. Just taking a few moments out of the day, especially in the middle of a crisis or in the middle of a really high stressful moment. I've always heard people say, take a breath. It really makes a difference. This is a simple first step that you can do to help reduce stress. This prepares our minds, and it can reset our mindset just by taking in a few minutes every day in that stressful moment. Excuse me. Next, I want to talk about exercise. Exercise is something that we need to do regularly, but who does it regularly? Are you doing this regularly? Physical activity isn't just about building muscles. It's about so much more. Well, it's great for toning up, and it really helps you to distress. It's also important to be a part of our immune system because it promotes healthy bones and your energy level. And with all this going on, it can improve the blood flow as well. It also helps the brain. It helps your memory. It even helps you having quality sleep. And there's oh my gosh, there's so much more that this does. People don't realize that moving our body, getting our heart rate up 20 minutes a day, does more than just like I said, building muscle, but it's a function that actually happens throughout the body. So as the oxygen level is moving through the body, it is increasing those endorphins as well. Next, I want to, let me go back here for just a second. In fact, I want to just mention that studies show that this 30 minutes of moderation of vigorous exercise every day helps stimulate the immune system. Going back to when your immune system's strong, your body can encounter many good things and able to produce the things that we're needing to produce in our work environment. So if you're getting the endorphins that is exploding, I guess you would say, in your brain, you're able to function stronger, function better, faster, and you react a lot faster. Now I want to talk about hydrate. Most of us don't do this enough. Water plays many roles in your body, including supporting the immune system. But there's a fluid in your circulatory system called lymph, which carries important infection-fighting immune cells around in your body. It's largely made up of water, and being dehydrated slows it down. and sometimes this can impair the immune system. There is so much that your body needs water for, and even if you're not exercising or sweating, you're constantly losing water, even through your breath, as well as your urine and your bowel movements. But to help support your immune system, be sure to replace the water that you lose, and which starts with knowing how much you really need. And the basic average person needs half your body weight in ounces every day. If you exercise or an environment to where you perspire a lot, you need to drink a little bit more. Next, I want to touch on sleep. I know I used to not value sleep like I do now. I don't know if you've ever thought, well, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Well, if you don't sleep enough, it may lead you to death. But sleep is so important for healing and recovery. And a healthy immune system, sleep certainly doesn't feel like an active process, but there are plenty of important activities that happen in your body when you're not awake, such as your important infection-fighting molecules that are created while you sleep. Studies show that people who don't get enough quality sleep are more prone to getting sick after exposure to viruses such as those caused like the common cold. Most people don't realize that your body's actually healing through the night when you're sleeping. To give your immune system the best chance to fight off infection and illness, it's important to know that you need to sleep well every night. And there's actions that you can take to help you improve, and that when you suffer from sleep, you should investigate ways to improve that, because it is a major part of recovery from illness, but it's also recovery from the stress that you have that day. Next, I want to roll into a healthy diet. You want to maintain a healthy diet with good nutrition. Sometimes that's hard to do because we're in an era where we don't want to always eat what's best. As Dr. William Sears, he's America's pediatrician, he once said that America doesn't have a vitamin deficiency, but a whole food deficiency. And that's what I want to touch on. As with most things in your body, our healthy diet is a key to a strong immune system. So I want to go into if you actually look up, if you research healthy immune system, you're going to see the common denominator is always good nutrition. You want to make sure that you eat plenty of vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains, lean protein, and healthy fats. In addition to providing your immune system the energy, understanding that food is our fuel. Fuel is what gets our body moving. It gives us the energy that we need. A healthy diet can ensure you're getting sufficient amount of micronutrients, and it plays a role in maintaining a healthy immune system. But going back to everything I'm talking about is building a healthy immune system, but when we don't understand that everything together plays a role. So it is our mindfulness, it is our exercise, it is the hydration, it is the sleep. There's so much more to this, but diet is a huge key factor to make sure that your body is getting everything it needs so that it can not only repair, but it can also help detox the body and get rid of the things that we shouldn't have, but also give us the things that we should have to continually improve. But including in all these things, we want to think about the vitamin C, which is found in chicken, salmon, tuna, bananas, green vegetables, and the potatoes with their skin on. Vitamin C, we all know it comes from fruit, but how many of us know that it also comes from tomatoes and broccoli and spinach? Then there's the vitamin E. It's found in almonds, sunflower and safflower oil, sunflower seeds, peanut butter, and also in spinach. There's a lot of nutrients that are in whole foods that we don't necessarily get if we're not eating a variety of foods. And that is a major part of understanding of eating a healthy diet. It's the variety. I always say it's eating the rainbow. And then without a healthy diet, you got to understand that it's all about that it's not the bad stuff. You know, it's how many of us love the fast food? You know, I guess one of my things that I eat that I shouldn't eat as much as I do is chips. You know, the chips are so bad for you when you think about the processed food that's in it or processed chemicals that's in it. But experts believe that body absorbs vitamins more efficiently from dietary sources rather than vitamins. But the best way to support your immune system is to eat a well-balanced diet. So let's take vitamin C, for example. When you eat that spinach, you're not only getting vitamins and minerals too, but you're getting the synergy of eating that whole food. So the vitamin C that's in that spinach, it's working together with all the other nutrients to work the way it was intended. With the synergy your body absorbs in your body, let me re-say that. The synergy that your body absorbs from eating the whole food, it's a balanced process. So the bottom line, your body knows what to do when you eat real food. This is why whole foods is so much better for your immune system. In fact, the USDA recommends that we eat 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. But who does that, right? So when you think about if you haven't been doing that, what consequences does that do to your body? So you really want to focus to try to eat half your plate with fruits and vegetables every day, and you want to focus on less of the bad stuff. And speaking of the bad stuff, you want to understand that the power we have over our own health and well-being, especially since we live in a world of frankenfood. Without a healthy diet and good nutrition, your body is more prone to disease, infection, fatigue, sickness, and low performance. Our bodies are like automobiles. We have to keep it fueled and maintain it properly to run well. When we feed it processed food and processed sugar, it eventually will shut down. Remember, nutritious food is our fuel. So, how do we improve productivity? Having gone through the short overview of how to keep your immune system strong, let's talk about the impacts of your business. Now, how many of you are business owners? So think about this. After hearing this information, can you see how this can impact and improve your productivity? Hopefully this all makes sense to you about that total balance. Can you see that having good health as a business owner can impact your business through your actions? So if you have a flourishing business, do you understand that good health will impact it so much more? And as a healthier business owner, you can encourage your staff and employees to do the same. But keep this in mind, if good health impacts a healthy business, then what impact does bad health have? Small business owners usually equate to having a small staff and can be very challenging and stressful. As I mentioned earlier about stress, prolonged chronic stress can lead to psychological effects and can become more dangerous, such as heart problems, high blood pressure, diabetes, disease, and so much more. Now think about this, really let this resonate. Without you, there would be no business. What would happen if you were sick? How would that affect your business? What would happen if your most valued employees were sick all the time? How would that affect your company's production and bottom line? When I spoke earlier about not having a healthy diet and good nutrition and emphasized that your body is more prone to disease, infection, fatigue, sickness, and low performance, does this resonate with your business mindset? How important is this to health and your business model? Now think about it. As a business owner, a healthy diet is the first step to a lifestyle of vitality, better focus, energy, and optimal performance. We're in a society of heart disease, diabetes, cancers, and so many autoimmune diseases, as well as inflammatory problems. So you think about if your employees are calling in sick all the time, whether it's them being sick or their kids being sick, it's no wonder there's an epidemic of companies losing money because of sick employees, or even the sick owners or sick managers. When a business owner understands this, they can share ways to implement simple steps. And in these simple steps can be education, for their team, for better performance. Which equals fewer sick days. But there's many resources out there. I don't know if any of you use them, but there's a lot of wellness programs. I know our company works with a lot of wellness programs. We go in and do educations on ways to be healthier. But if you want more information on this, just email me and I can send you links to where you can connect with wellness programs. But it's obvious that when you educate your employees about their well-being, it can help your business. But check it out. There's also a ripple effect to this. It's passed on to the families. So if your employees are learning to get healthier, it's natural for them to go home and implement some steps for their families as well, right? For their kids, for their spouses, even to their families. But if their children are healthier, how does that impact your business? The ripple effect, it goes down, right? So when you think about it, if your employees are healthier and they're going home and educating this to their children or implementing habits for their children, then that means the children are sick less. And if their children are sick less, that means the parents are calling in less as well. They're not having to take off or take their kids to the doctor. And then in addition to that, it is very important because when your employees are healthier and they're not calling in sick as much, it also can cut the cost of your insurance. A lot of insurance programs will bring in wellness programs for that fact because it does decrease the bottom line. A great business owner really understands you must be a good leader. And a good leader knows that it all starts with you. For example, getting started by taking a few steps, you can improve your ability to be a better you. And a wise entrepreneur, you want to always choose what's best. When you focus on a better you, that means better performance, and that will impact you as a better business owner. So I want to kind of recap and go over a few more things and kind of touch on what we mentioned earlier. Know why you must have a healthy immune system. Your healthy immune system is so important, and many of us take it for granted. It starts in the gut, so what you put in your body makes a big difference. There's so many areas when it comes to the immune system that we can't educate just in a short hour. There's so many avenues to where we could go with this. But when you understand the basics of what I mentioned earlier, it makes all the difference in the world. Again, when you have a stronger immune system, your body gets sick less because the immune system is strong enough to fight off the bad things that are happening to the body. But when you don't understand how to get there, then it's harder to have that healthier immune system. So choosing the right steps to do so is not only having a healthier immune system, but you're investing in you. I think a lot of times we take life for granted because we're not guaranteed tomorrow. But when you invest in you, you're able to do the things around you. When you're investing in you, you're able to help people around you. When you invest in you, you are stronger, you think better, you have a better focus, you can do you're better at implementing the things that you need to do as a business owner, but also as if you have a family or if you're involved in other things. But everything that you invest in comes back to you. So you want to do the things to have the optimal you. So learning to maintain a healthy immune system, as well as taking the steps for prevention, is investing in your future as well. So some of the healthy habits to implement should include, as we stated, reducing stress. So what are some of the things that you already do to reduce stress, if you do them? And if not, what would be your next action to do to take steps to reducing that stress? And then there's exercise. Exercise does reduce stress, but it also builds the immune system. In addition to exercise, we want to hydrate. Hydration, think about our body is mostly water. So if we're losing water, we're not putting enough in. It's like One of the things that I do in classrooms, I'll bring a plant with a flourishing plant where all the leaves are green, right? And then I bring a stick. So when you look at these two visuals, you got the healthy flourishing plant, then you got this dead stick that was never watered. Well, that's what your organs are doing when you're not watering your body. So you want to know why you want to drink water every day. A lot of people say, oh, I don't like water. Well, you've got to understand the importance and the important role that it plays. So if you want a healthy brain, you want healthy organs, you want healthy skin, you want to have less brain fog, water and hydration is so valuable. And then let's recap on sleep. How many of you have the opportunity, because I say it's opportunity because so many times we push it off, to sleep a minimal of 7 to 8 hours a day? It's hard for many of us. So when you sleep, understand that your body is repairing itself. So if you want to be the best, if you're an overachiever, or you have a business to where you have to be there all the time, you want to be the optimal you want to make sure you get plenty of sleep. And then we want to roll back into a healthy diet. How many of us have a diet of what I call frankenfood? It's all the crazy things that are out there that we're just eating chemicals, a lot of processed food, boxed food, frozen food, things that are where you look at the ingredients, there's more things in there that you never heard of. They're all words that are about this long, and you do not understand what it is. Lots of chemicals. Who eats more of that than versus an apple, or versus a good salad with mixed greens? Understanding your healthy diet is replenishing the nutrition that your body needs every day. So in order for your body to function well, you want to have the healthy diet. And the quote that I said earlier, every choice you make is an investment in you. I mean, that is my life's motto. And we want to make sure that you understand what those words really mean. So every choice you make is an investment in you. So what you do to your body, what you choose to put in your mind, what you choose to eat makes all the difference in the world. And I want to, if there's a book out there called The Slight Edge, it's written by Jeff Olson. It's an older book, but that book, I read it, oh my goodness, probably 8 or 9 years ago when I started going through all my health issues. It literally changed my life because it talks about investing in you and talks about every choice you make is an investment in you. Because you think about it, when you eat something, you're doing something to your body. When you drink something, you're doing something to your body. When you watch something, are you putting good things, good thoughts in your mind? How many of us put a lot of things in our mind that shouldn't be in there because it makes us negative, makes us agitated, makes us angry? So you want to make sure you have that balanced life of good versus the bad. So the more good you do, the more fluent and more flourishing you will be. So you're choosing to put good things in your mind, good things through your ears, what we listen to, the people we're around, makes all the difference. So every choice you make is an investing in you. And so I want to close with this. You have the opportunity to be the best you. What you do now really does matter, not only now, but later. And when you put the best things in your body, the best things will happen. There's a lot of good things out there that we can do, but is it what's best? So if you have a good mindset, you're going to want to choose every decision you make, is it what's best? And sometimes it takes a moment to sit back, take a breath, and focus. Be mindful in that moment to choose the best choice. Taylor, now I'll open it up to Q&A.
Miranda, thanks for giving us that. I think that's one of the reasons why, I brought you in, because I think we need to hear some of this, because there's so many factors going on now in the business world and for entrepreneurs. It's been just kind of a roller coaster over the last several months with COVID-19 and having to, get things back together, get their businesses back online and going again, even surviving in many cases. And so out of and we'll open this up for anyone that wants to unmute and ask a question, or put in the chat as well. You can feel free to do that. I guess a couple of questions that I have, especially the 5 areas that you listed there. What can we do if one area, say it's sleep or hydration or diet? What happens if one of these areas just gets totally out of whack, out of character? I mean, how do we kind of, maybe some of the things we can think about to get back when a portion of our life is out of balance? Maybe that's a way to ask that question.
I know when I meet one-to-one with people, I kind of assess what they do. And an easy one, let's say hydration. For instance, if you're not drinking enough water, I always say drink 8 ounces more than what you did yesterday. So if you're only, because someone who commented, let me look at that comment again. Rebecca, you said you drink a bottle of water every morning and before your coffee. So that's great. That's a great way to start. And then, but if you're not drinking more than that 1 glass of water a day, add a little bit more the next day. Just do it in increments. That's how I did it. When I had to assess where I was, I had to think, all right, where can I start? Because when you start thinking about everything that you're supposed to do, it can be very overwhelming. So I always say start with one thing. So let's say it's hydrating, say it's drinking more water. There are some things out there which I can send you information on that as well, some healthier choices, but put fruit in your water or put cucumbers in your water. Not only does it add nutrients to the water, it gives it a little flavor and it makes it easier to drink for people that don't like to just drink water. When it's cold, I drink warm water. It not only helps me warm up, but it's easier to drink. But it's just taking those simple steps. Another suggestion would be, if you are used to drink or eating a lot of things that you shouldn't eat, pick one thing and eat less of it and try to implement one good thing. So if you're not used to eating a lot of fruit, find a fruit that you do like, keep it around and nibble on that throughout the day. Take it as your snacks if you go out, but just eating 1 or 2 bites of fruit a day, your taste buds will start changing. There's something that's called muscle memory in your brain for food. So the more healthier food you eat, the more you're going to start craving it. So that would be a great way to start implementing things. And then think about, like for me, I always use chips, for instance, because I love to get chip-faced because I'm a chipaholic. I find things that are healthier for me, and it's usually the crunch. So I eat a lot of mixed nuts now versus chips. Don't get me wrong, I'll eat them every now and then. From where I was eating them every day, it may be once, maybe twice a week I'll eat a handful versus the whole bag. So it's learning to choose wisely and make an intentional effort to do so. And I want to know.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I think Rebecca brings up a good point about the hydration. I found, and you probably can verify this, Miranda, that when you do wake up in the morning after sleeping 6 or 7 hours, if you're lucky enough to do that, you do wake up dehydrated. If you think about it, your body is dehydrated when you wake up. So first thing I do is drink a glass of water when I wake up, because that rehydrates my body. Kind of gets me going, even though I'm going to go get some coffee after that, but that does kind of get me back where I think I need to be from being asleep and your body kind of depleting itself over several hours. Rebecca did say the stress from the financial impact of COVID has been terrible, and so can you kind of speak to that a little bit, because I know a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners have kind of been on this stress roller coaster, not knowing kind of what's coming around the corner and difficulties of surviving in their businesses in many instances. And you mentioned stress and burnout kind of as one of those factors that we have to be aware of. So can you speak to that just a little bit more?
Sure. When you think about everything that's been going on, there is a lot of negativity that's going on. I think Rebecca mentioned where she kind of had to refocus and where she put her energy into. That's a great way. I know for me, I can't be around a lot of negativity because it does create a lot of stress, and because of my own health issues and understanding the fact that stress can trigger things within my body that could give me where my lupus can act up. So when you understand how important to surround yourself by, I'm going to say, positive people, encouraging people is so important. Think about, you've heard the saying is about you are what you eat, you are the environment you're in. There's I'm trying to think how it's worded, but you are the sum of the 5 people you're around the most. So if you're around a lot of negativity, if not a lot of negative people every day, all day, what's going to happen? The ripple effect of that is you're going to be negative. So there's nothing wrong if you need to watch the news to see what is going on. I choose not to. I get enough. There's enough tidbits to kind of keep up what's going on, which I want to know. But I want to put more of the better things in my brain because that's what's going to make me more productive. But you want to be smart. You want to be wise. You want to be aware of what's going on. But when you focus on the things that you choose to do to make a better you, to make your business better, then that's what you want to focus on. So if you are an encouraging employer, so if you have employees and you're encouraging your team to be their best, you've got to have that positive attitude. But it's hard for us to do if we are not encouraged as well. So when you encase yourself around mentors that are building you up, then you're going to be a better you. Your mindset's going to be better. There's also apps out there for mindfulness, which helps you to reflect, to sit back, to relax, to help your body reset. Those are great. There's so many wonderful apps out there. There's even hydration apps. There's food apps, but the mindful apps literally helps you slow down. And I tell you what, here's a trick right now that we all can do. It's called box breathing. All you're doing is you're breathing in 4 seconds, holding your breath for 4 seconds, releasing it for 4 seconds, and holding that for 4 seconds. So all you're doing is going. That's it. It's 4, 4, 4, and 4. Of course, I encourage you to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose as much as possible because that's even healthier. But when you can take a moment and do 2 or 3 of those box breathing motions, it will literally decrease the stress. It will literally give you more oxygen. It will literally help your lungs, and it will help you reset for that moment. And it would actually help you to relax just a little bit more. And if you need to do more than 2 or 3, then do more than 2 or 3. So that's a great way to do a simple step.
Yeah, I appreciate that too as well. And anybody else has a question for Miranda, you feel free to unmute yourself and ask her directly or put it in the chat if you'd like. You did mention, a couple of food groups that we should be more aware of, like eating more mixed nuts and that kind of thing. And you mentioned the chip addiction, which I have a little bit of that too, actually. Are there any other food groups that we need to be aware of, when we're talking about good fuel for the body that may assist us, in getting there?
Sure. I know how I got started in all this was for my own health. Before the doctors diagnosed me with the issues that I have, I started researching foods to heal because I was up to 8 medications, and I knew that if I didn't get off those medications, they were probably going to kill me or really bring me down even more. So when you research, why eat spinach? Why eat broccoli? Why eat an apple? Whenever you research the foods that we should eat, there are so many benefits to building the immune system, giving us the strength. It's about repair. There's hundreds and hundreds of vitamins and minerals in whole food, but yet most of us don't eat enough. I know I can't see you, but let's pretend I can. I'm gonna say, raise your hand if you had more than 3 servings of fruits and vegetables in one day, and how many of those were practically raw or barely cooked, which is what we should eat. Most of us don't do that, and that's pretty scary, because we think back to our grandparents' days. They got food out of the garden. They went in their backyard and brought in food that was fresh and highly packed full of nutrients. We're in a world now to where we go buy everything. It's fast food. It's fast food. It's everything out of a box. We eat less of what's in the produce section. So when we talk about eating the foods that we should, we want to talk about eating the food that's colorful. So the more colorful food that you can eat, the better. Not a lot of white potatoes, nothing wrong with a good baked potato, but when all you're eating is potatoes or pastas, a lot of cheese and dairy, which we should eat very little of that as well because of the inflammatory factors of that. But the more colorful food that we eat, and I don't mean Cheetos, that bright orange Cheeto, but I'm talking about, the bright, the cherries, the bright green of your greens, your turnips, your carrots. The more of that you eat, the more benefit it's going to do to your body. And that's the understanding. Eating the rainbow makes a huge difference in our body functioning the way it's supposed to.
Good points, Miranda. Thanks again for that. Anyone else have any other questions for Miranda just on what we've heard and what you may be thinking about as far as improving your nutrition levels?
Taylor, I've said this probably a dozen times through my talk. The saying about investing in you, it's something that is, you want to have. I just want to encourage you to write that down and really focus on those words and emphasize each word each time you say it, such as every choice you make is an investment in you. Every choice you make is an investment in you. Every choice you make, not someone else, is an investment in you. And every choice you make, it means making that decision. And you think about the word, look at the word investment. Most people, when they think of the word investment, it's money, right? When you invest in money, you want to accrue, and get more money. Well, if you want to invest in your health, you want better health, and that's going to make you have a life of longevity and optimal performance as well.
Well, excellent. Well, Miranda, I think getting close to our end of our time. If anyone else wants to jump on here, you're more than welcome to do so. Again, I want to thank you for being with us. I think this is a wonderful presentation. It was timely because it's just what we need to hear. I mean, I think so many people are in these stressful situations. They may be eating emotionally as well, maybe a lot of the wrong things. And this is kind of a reset for us to kind of think about ways to fuel our body in the best way that will help us in our business as well. And at OBDC, we will focus more on health and mental health, burnout next month as well. I want to continue this conversation a little bit. But thank you, Miranda, for joining us today and bringing us this wonderful information. It's been very helpful.
Thank you again for having me.
You bet. And again, we'll meet you again next time for our OBDC virtual webinars. Thanks for everyone for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.